On this episode of I Am Drummer, I'm going to sit behind a desk and wear some gloves. On this episode of I Am Drummer, we are going to delve deep into the em-puh-REE-uhn. Now, two-part special means that I'll be talking to you about the drum, showing you all the bits and pieces that come with the drum, and the second part will be me playing it, which will be coming to you later during the week, possibly next week. So, without further ado, I am going to start talking to you and showing you all the lovely little bits and pieces from behind this desk, wearing felt gloves. So, if you open this tiny little compartment, it's held on by magnets, we will first of all take out an Allen key. Now, this is an Allen key you don't really find at IKEA. It's actually hand-turned azalea burl, so that's pretty groovy. Now, if that's in case, this is basically supplied to you in case you ever need to change over one of the lugs. You get your own little tool. So, I don't think I've ever seen an Allen key like that before. You get your own key fob. Now, this is pretty crazy. So, I don't know if you can see that. Hand turned. The gold end. Pretty cool. Swivels. I know. Absolutely mind-boggling. This is one of my favourite pieces, even though I would love to use it, I don't, and it is mad. This is a wine stopper, hand-turned and crafted by Pete Staybridge himself, excuse me. I should have brought a lot of water when I was up here. And it is amazing, and very, very weighty too. So, just check it out. I mean, look at this. Just look at that. Absolutely crazy. And this is what you get with the drum. So it's not basically you spend X amount of dollars on the drum itself, comes in the case and congratulations, you get a drum. You actually get to choose these. So if I said to him I wanted this out of Southeast Asia, Adorns or Azalea burls, I could choose which one I would like and how I'd like it. In different colours, or if I want it in different textures. The customization is absolutely endless. What else we got in here? Oh, now this is cool. This is very cool. This is a drum key. That is a drum key. 24 karat gold plated drum key. I've never seen anything like it. Hand turned. Crystals in the end. Ooh, almost got a little bit of glimmer of that one. I don't know about you, but I've never seen a classier drum key in my life. Can you see now I'm wearing the felt gloves? Because I just don't want to get these things dirty or covered in anything. And you also get to choose that. You can have no crystals, you can have more than two, you can have a different kind of timber or wood, a different kind of burl. But this itself is astonishing. Okay, now there's a little latch here to pull this out. That's right, you get a pen. Hand-turned, handcrafted pen made by Pete himself. And you can actually start to see why this drum costs so much. Just look at that. And they give you options. They say, would you like this out of this kind of a burl or African? Would you like this out of Southeast Asia burl or a Adorns? So this is why it took so long. So now this part, I have to admit the battery has gone flat. I haven't changed it out yet, but let's just get this bad boy out of here. You get yourself a little clock. and the texture is phenomenal. So I don't know if you can see that at all. I'll show you best I can in the light. And all these components have that natural timber smell to them, and it has a very exotic smell. I know I should change the battery, and I will at some point one day. So you get a clock. I've never seen a drum where you go, hey, I can tell the time when I open the case. So that is all. Besides, in the case there is obviously a spare tuning rod and also a bolt for if you ever need to change a lug, you have a spare. So I'll just close that out. Now you also get the Sticks DVD on Blu-ray, and you can specify if you do not want it on Blu-ray, you can get it on DVD. So as you can tell, mine is unopened because I clearly already own it. So we'll put that aside. You also get 2 Sticks albums featuring, of course, the amazing Todd Sucherman on drums. So we get Regeneration Volume 1 and Volume 2. Okay, now this is where things get really, I would say, mental. Like, you know, you open this case and everything's custom, everything's one-off. You will never see another em-puh-REE-uhn just like yours. This is the book and the building process of each drum. So they document each drum, how it's made, they take photos, they record dates. It's a long process, so why not see the journey in itself? Now, this is my particular book, as you can tell. It's got my name on it. And I'll go through it in further detail in a moment because I'm wearing gloves and I can't quite open pages, so we'll put that aside there for the moment. I'll pack all this stuff away. I'll come back to you soon. But before I do, another thing that comes with this particular drum, em-puh-REE-uhn drum, and it comes with all the drums, is that you actually get 2 VIP tickets to see Sticks live featuring Todd Sucherman. So you don't just get the accompaniments with the drum, you also get to see Todd himself play, you get to have a meet and greet, which is absolutely fantastic. I got to do that in 2015 in Anaheim, and I hadn't even picked up the drum yet. So Todd and I, good friends, but anyone who purchases one gets one of those particular tickets. Now, as far as I know, they're not making any more of these. I think they did cap these at around 5, maybe 8, maybe 10. I can't be 100% certain. It was a very low number. And that is just generally down to the cost and the labour of the drum. So to get it to finding the burls, getting them cut down, getting them measured, quartered, and then dried out alone was 12 months. That's a lot of work for one person to do. There's hundreds of hours of labour in each drum, and only using the absolute best materials you could possibly find. So what I'll do is I will pack all this stuff up, we'll pull the drum out, and we'll talk to you directly about all the other bits and pieces you get. We're back.
Okay, we're back.
I'm back. So I thought I'd go through a few photos of this book and maybe try and explain to you the process of building the drum. Definitely does help. So as you can see, book. It's a book. A lovely protective layer on the book. So each em-puh-REE-uhn is carefully selected of Abonia and Azalea burls. So basically, these are the timbers that are made into each drum, or this particular drum. Obviously dried, so they're hardened, and this drum is solid as a rock. Now these are the segments of the before the pineapple construction. Now pineapple means basically it's made in like a bit of a jigsaw in layers, glued and sealed, and then it is hand turned to what you would say is more closer resembles a drum or a drum shell. So that's this particular drum. So every picture you see here is the manufacturing process of this build number 2. This is just the hoops. I don't know if you can see that, but the hoops alone have hundreds of pieces. They've got inlays, they've got pinstriping, and they're tough. I mean, I've hit this thing Todd's really smacked the crap out of this thing, and there's not a single mark on the hoops whatsoever, and you do get a spare hoop. Planks of walnut to make the solid walnut case. That's absolute craziness, and it's made to perfection. So here we go. Now this is, to me, this is the shot of a lifetime, and I can't wait to see this in person. But every drum that's made is shipped to Todd's home studio. Now that is a sexy view. That is the actual drum pre-shakedown in Todd's studio. You can't get better quality control than that. The removal of the batter hoop and head so they can get access to sign and place in the build number 2 certificate. And this is Todd tuning and playing the drum. Now this is all done on video as well, so they send you a USB which comes inside the compartment to watch all this being done, and sounding of course, and that's the final product. So what I'll do is I will get back to this, we'll do a bit of a close-up, and I'll talk to you about the drum itself before we get stuck into part 2 and actually playing the drum, because let's face it, that's the part you really want to see and hear. As you can see here, this is the compartment that houses all of the accessories. So I'll just close that for the moment. Here is the area where the book goes. And let's just close it down, put the back inside. Now you also get a third hoop. Now this is a player's hoop, or I usually leave this for a spare, or if it's going to be on display. If I don't want to use the batter head hoop, or the currently used hoop. Thing is though, the hoop is so tough, there's not a single mark on it, which so doesn't really matter. Just in case you want to have a hoop just to have the drum displayed with, you get a spare hoop. Pair of Todd Sucherman 330 maple signature drumsticks by the lovely ProMark company. So that pretty much concludes this area of the video. Let's go on and take the drum out of the case and move the case off the table, because it's heavy. I mean, it weighs about 20 kilos altogether. The drum itself is quite light. The case, being solid walnut, it weighs a bit. So let me put my other glove back on, because yeah, I know it's a bit anal like that. I just don't like to get things dirty, especially a drum like this. I like to look after it as much as possible. So here she is, 24 karat gold hardware, Borneo Azalea burls, South African timbers. I mean, it's crazy. It is just absolute pure sexiness. Now, this drum now is listed as, well, the burls or the timbers are now endangered listed as endangered species. So basically, in Australia, if you want to get this drum in, you can't. If I try and take this drum out of the country, I can't. It's actually stuck in Australia. Not a bad thing, which means there's only one. And I'm extremely lucky to have one. So before we talk about the cost, we've talked about the building process, now the cost of the drum. This is in US dollars, it's $4,995 US. So I think that equates to around about 7,500 Australian. Now to ship this back, there's one other thing I want to quickly show you. I'm going to try and get a bit of a close-up. Swarovski crystal inlaid into the hand-turned snare lever. This snare lever has actual striping in it. It's handmade, hand-turned, hand-fabricated. Unbelievable. And it does make a difference. When you activate the snare wires, it just feels like absolute perfection on this done at throw off in 24 karat gold. Excuse me. Now, you're probably thinking, does a $7,500 drum actually sound like a $7,500 drum? So, in short, well, long story long, essentially, the tonal range of a lot of drums on the market, doesn't matter if it's a boutique or one-off, mass-produced, there's a certain tonal range that we all look for. So coming from a wood snare drum, the tonal range of this particular drum is absolutely huge. When this is tuned down low, it sounds fat, controlled. It sounds big, but it has a lot of volume. And then you bring it to a medium tension and it just sounds like perfection. And when you tune it high, you really crank it, it's like a gunshot going off. There's an unlimited tuning range to this particular drum, and I really cannot wait to play it again. I was in two minds about doing it. It's one of those drums that only comes out literally on special occasions. If I could take it to the hospital when my son was born, I would have. The day I got married, it'll be there as well. Those dates have passed, unfortunately, and then the drum came along. But as I said, this is absolute perfection, and I can't wait to play it, so you get to hear it. So less of me gas bagging on and with a microphone, a GoPro, and my phone, and screens open, and let's hit this thing.